Welcome to the Nosy Gardener channel. I'm here in Spring Lake, New Jersey at the Jersey Shore, and we're going to walk around through the town and look at people's gardens, see what's growing. We have some beautiful color of impatiens, which you'll see, and some fall decor. A lot of colorful mums. And we're going to start right here at the sand dunes because they have some natural vegetation here. We've got the goldenrod, natural grasses. Belle is here. Oh, you know what that is? Virginia creeper. That's definitely what that is. Virginia creeper here. And some type of scrub brush of some sort that can withstand the wind and the salt air. On the sand dune, I think these are Ragusa rose is what those are called. They do very well in the sandy, dry soil. So that is mainly the whole roadway. On one side is the sand dune buffer, and then you'll see the Breakers and the Grand Victorian up close momentarily. This is the Breakers Hotel, and for reference, the ocean is on this side. They have transitioned over to the mums with a nice variety of colors, the yellow, orange, and the purple. Looks like they've already done their hydrangea trimming for the winter to keep everything neat and orderly. And they brought the mums to the front with the hedges. This is the Grand Victorian and Amelia's restaurant. They did their mums in a kind of a curve. And the roses are still doing well. And I don't know what that is back there, but they have highly trimmed those back for the season. The mums look great. Also the hydrangea trimmed. Curious about that. This looks like the type that grows on the old wood, so be curious what their secret is. Very pretty. All of the lawns and gardens are highly manicured. There are lots of these impatiens all over town, and they are stunning. This is a nice combo of the red and a magenta mixed in with a hedge. Everything is trimmed beautifully. The grass is perfect. And it's a long garden bed of these impatiens that actually wraps the corner here. Now this faces east because we're right across from the ocean. But look at that. Now this is October. So they have survived the whole summer. Clearly they are on an irrigation system. And they also have the impatiens behind the hedge at the house landscape. And there's Montauk daisies in there. But it's just stunning. It goes all the way down. It's a corner lot. You can see the impatiens continues down. Continuing up on Ocean Ave, this house on the corner has an interesting hedge, an evergreen, perhaps some type of cypress or juniper, I'm not sure. It looks uncoiffed, which is interesting with the ornamental grasses. Holly does very well here, and that's what that is in the back of the garden bed. Mixes of hydrangea, mixes of evergreen with this large type of pine, obviously trimmed in height so they can see the ocean, but very interesting. Some flowering things, but looks like more of a perennial. And an interesting, that pine is very pretty. I don't want to zoom in, but the holly trees back there have a lot of berries. So it's kind of a natural looking landscape, even though it is quite trimmed. You can tell these are old. Just look at those trunks there. I think that's a juniper down at the ground level. Just swing back. Very nice. Here's a garden that went with all yellow mums for a nice pop of singular color. Hydrangeas behind the fence. The green and yellow with the white house, just a nice classic combination. Their hydrangeas in the front have all been trimmed. And it ends with this nice arbor and gate here. Lovely. I stopped to take a look at this urn here. Very large urn, and it is framed with trimmed boxwood and another evergreen down there at the bottom. Don't know what that is. Nice large leaf plant. And look at those impatiens. For first week of October, they look beautiful. Nice combination. This is the type of hydrangea that does really well here. And this one hasn't been trimmed back. Usually they're not trimmed back like that, so they must know what they're doing. These aren't trimmed, and they still are interesting. Walking up here, even though it's in the shade, more of that impatiens. It's just, they're doing so well. It would not look this good in New Hampshire. I mean, they're just huge. I wonder if they trim them in the summer. That's, they're almost 30 inches high. Oh, I'd love to get in the back. I see some trimmed boxwood and shapes back there. That looks probably very interesting. Just stunning. I've got Belle with me. This is a street that has the old growth trees, the sycamore trees, and more impatiens. A little bit harder to see here. Let's walk up a little further. Back to the mums. The mums and the cabbages. That's a crepe myrtle all the way to the left there. The cabbages and the mums with a little bit of fall decor. And the hydrangeas look beautiful. Those are the type that I have, so I'm familiar with them. Those are the type that grow on new wood. The trimmed boxwood. This garden has all white impatiens, very simple. And the boxwood, of course. Decorative grasses, another crepe myrtle. I like the driveway with the grass between it. We can't get too nosy and go down there. Would love to though. Oh, I like this hydrangea. Pretty. The ornamental grasses here. So the popular plants here are these impatiens and hydrangeas and boxwood and crepe myrtle. That's what we have at a lot of the houses. Belle's helping me get nosy. Hydrangea, ornamental grasses, and the impatiens. The garden bed in the middle of the lawn area is different for this area. These tall ornamental grasses are very attractive here on the corner. It frames their corner lot nicely. Large hydrangea bushes and trees up in the lawn. And once again, the impatiens and some type of golden emeralds, arborvitae, some sort. Nice container. And the tall decorative grasses. Arborvitae hedge. Another crepe myrtle there. I like the ornamental trees or plants or something in the pots. That looks pretty. Another arborvitae hedge. And the driveway with the grass down the middle. The arborvitae does very well here. Another round of the impatiens. Looks like they already cut their ornamental grasses. Just stepping back to look at that giant sycamore tree. That is almost 3 feet in diameter. Wow. That's impressive. Now they have the containers with the impatiens and then the mandevilla growing up onto the lamppost. And this tree over here, that looks like a holly tree. It is. They grow huge here. I can't get up close because it's in the driveway, but this is a holly tree. Quite large. You can see lots of berries on there. This looks like a white pine that they've kept trimmed into a hedge. Goes quite a way back there. And they've been there a while. Wow, let's look at them from the sunny side. That is something. Those look like holly. Well, it looks like holly on the right side that's been trimmed. More of the impatiens. Some evergreen here. The gardener is working on this place. A lot of shrubbery on this one. I talked to the gardener here. He said irrigation and fertilizer and Osmocote when he plants them, and that does the trick. So there we go. That's the secret here. A lot of Osmocote. And this is a magnolia tree. I really didn't realize these would grow in New Jersey. I'll have to look at what the zone is. This is magnolia. And some ivy down below. And another holly tree. Let's walk around this. This is definitely different. One of the older landscapes. Old growth landscape. So that's holly tree. More magnolia growing underneath. This has been here a long time. I'll do some research. So magnolia, and then this type of, maybe it's a cypress. I'll look it up. It's a large lot. Quite different than your standard highly manicured. Okay, just getting a look at that from this side. Can't even see the house. Looking for a little variety in the landscape. There's the magnolia, and I did do a quick research. There are varieties of magnolia trees that grow here. Clearly, we saw by the old growth magnolia, hydrangea, nice big blossoms, nice big blooms on those. I've got to find out what that evergreen is. It must be some type of cypress, the funky shapes. It's been there a while. It's a nice size. Sorry for the backlit. It does impede on the sidewalk quite a bit. The Brown House property looks like that's been there quite a while. So this landscape is a little different than the others. The Montauk daisies, some black-eyed Susans, and some type of tree, which looks like it's lost its leaves. That purple is an aster. Clearly not as coiffed as most of the other homes. Yeah, look at that aster. It's huge. The black-eyed, oh, those are probably coneflower that have gone by. Big aster over here. And the first time I'm seeing a little bit of hosta. I don't think people do a lot of hosta here because there are quite a bit of deer. Okay, I'm getting a little nosy here because their backyard is all exposed, which is kind of uncommon. This tall green shrub tree, that is holly, clearly trimmed into that shape. This looks like crepe myrtle that is young and being trimmed to stay short. That's what it looks like. Pachysandra at the base. Oh, I know this is Solomon seal here. And that is a shade-loving plant. Yeah, let's look at this holly up close. amazing. Lots of berries, haven't turned yet. Nice little peekaboo into the, oh, too bad we've got some backlit there. And some type of hedge. It doesn't look like boxwood, but it could be. Trimmed boxwood. Has the English ivy at the bottom, or at the base, and looks like a rhododendron, which haven't seen many of those either here. Okay, I wanted to cross the look at this other side. Clearly it's a double lot, or one lot, two houses. I'm not sure. They look similar. But I like their border that they did, or buffer, so to speak. So it's an evergreen buffer. Those are holly, trimmed into that shape. Okay. Pachysandra at the base, is hydrangea in there, and it looks like other holly. The round balls look like holly. This is also a holly tree. So that is evergreen. Got the crepe myrtles and the hydrangea. But this is a little bit different than what we're seeing around here. Pachysandra in the front, and the staggered holly trimmed into the cone shape for a privacy hedge with the ornamental grasses. And those are definitely holly. I see some red berries here. So holly in the round shape and the cone shape. This is holly too. It's a lighter green. It could just be the age of it. So let's walk up here a little bit further. The Pachysandra, ornamental grasses, holly, and a nice size crepe myrtle. And an arborvitae hedge. That looks like emerald green or green giant. And Belle is getting nosy herself. I'm gonna walk down it this way. So you can see it is a nice buffer, staggered buffer. Different shapes, different heights. Could let the holly get a little bit less shaped. They would fill in more, but I guess that's why they have them staggered here. They seem to be properties connected to each other because it's the landscape continues. That looks like a rhododendron variety here. Oh, here's some rhodies. That's a rhodie hedge there. More holly. Belle is bored with this walking. We have the large street trees and a very large pine, which has an interesting trunk shape. The hydrangea, of course, it looks like this was probably hosta here in the front, and either the deer ate it. This definitely looks deer eaten. That's classic. That's a beautiful large hydrangea. And then the arbor. And the deer looks like they've been up there and ate all that hosta too. Oh, that's too much. And the arbor is attractive, flanked by the two hollies. I have learned that they don't like this dark green variety as much. We have that at home, they haven't eaten it, so that goes to show this isn't eaten and the other stuff is eaten. Beautiful hydrangea blooms. And we're back to the impatiens. And those are probably 24 inches high, wrapping the corner. Very attractive. One of the older houses here. They have an arborvitae fence wall there in the background. Once again, hydrangea and the impatiens. Some more holly. The wind is picking up. And some type of, it looks like a boxwood hedge. Holly, hydrangea, impatiens, boxwood. Rinse and repeat. Clearly it does very well here. I hope you enjoyed our tour here in Spring Lake, New Jersey. Hopefully you got some inspiration seeing some plants from maybe a different zone that you live in. And I know I sure did. I know that you need Osmocote to have beautiful impatiens. Thanks for coming along on the walk in Spring Lake. Please like and subscribe.